All right, thank you very much. We'll move to item 8. Thank you, Vacant Sites Programme.
Yeah, okay. That's all good. Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. I provided these slides for those councillors who were unable to make the briefings, so I'll really just focus on the last one. So, Tēnā koutou katoa. This really seeks to just introduce the Vacant Sites Programme, which has got two primary goals. The first one is supporting those site owners who are ready to bring forward development, and for those that are not, whether that be in the short term or over the longer term, encourage them to move towards activities that improve the amenity of sites, and particularly in the more pedestrian, busier parts of the central city, encourage more active uses on those sites. So there are at the moment around 450 sites, and like I say, the intention is to support owners. The programme around this is very much around engaging with owners. So what I've got up here is the reasons for the recommendation, really. It's a structured and strategic approach to site management. Like I say, there's the proactive engagement of owners, which recognises that every site is different and every owner has their own different circumstances. So we have to be cognizant of that in the same way that we've worked with the various site owners. The approaches we take will be very much solution focused, whether on the development side it'll be about giving them design advice, supporting them through partnership approvals, and various other things that we can do in an economic development and urban regeneration sphere. And where sites need visual improvement, it's working with people like the city making partners, using the grant the funding we've got available to support projects, and really work with groups in and around the city, whether they be neighbourhoods, whether they be business groups, people like the Salt Trust and things like that, to help them realise outcomes on site in a partnership approach. The whole programme is very much integrated, cross-agency and cross-council collaboration. That will be based upon shared intelligence. We have a mapping system that allows us to, across different parts of council, look at what are the characteristics of sites, who are the leads for those at any given time, and then aligning work programmes. All of this will require new tools, and we'll learn through doing this as we're dealing with site owners. Ideas will present themselves, and we'll bring some of those forward. And it makes use of good expertise within council and across the community and the other organisations. So that was all I was going to talk about. Questions?
Thank you. And can I have questions that actually relate to this item, which is vacant sites within the central city? Yanni?
Thanks. The question asked at the workshop, when am I going to get an answer to that around the LTP resolution in 2018?
Does it to do with this item?
Yeah, it was to do with this report.
So what's the question?
So the question was, we were going to get a report back on the barrier sites being extended to the suburban areas.
Okay, so that's not to do with this report. This is about vacant sites in the central city.
Well, can I ask them
on the vacant sites on the central city?
Right. So in terms of vacant sites outside of the central city.
No, sorry, Yanni, this paper is about vacant sites program within the central city. Do you have a question relating to this paper?
Yeah, so in this paper, it says if this 3.25, using learnings from practice and new tools to secure action on vacant sites citywide and feed into improvement, and it talks about, I thought that this looked at going outside of the central city. So I just wanted to check, if we do this, when would we be able to consider extending it to other sites in terms of, like, that was, kind of the idea behind the barrier-free sites. And
sorry,
yeah.
I think they can answer you that question.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, in the workshops, we did say that vacant sites outside the central city, particularly in those centres which have been identified through the urban regeneration heat map work, would be areas that we would also be doing some support around. But our focus very much in this, certainly in this initial year, and certainly beyond, is really supporting site owners in and around the central city.
Thank you.
so what resource is this requiring, and how could we I mean, what sort of resource would we need if we wanted to address sites outside of the central city?
Yanni, sorry, this item is on Central City. Could we focus on this item, please? We can take that offline.
Well, except it was
No, it's-
raised.
Is there any other questions? Yeah, Jimmy.
Only one question, particular regarding proactive engagement with the owners of Central City. I'm not sure if some owners couldn't afford because due to the financial problem, or some owners probably is not in Christchurch, out of town, etc. How to proactively engage with them?
I mean, we do have to acknowledge that at the moment, demand for new development is limited,
Yes.
and that's going to mean that some of these vacant sites will be there a while. Like I said, we can only seek to understand what their intentions are.
Yes.
Where they have got activities planned, we can support those. But we're, I think, fairly clear that there are going to be sites that might sit there for 2-3 years, and maybe even longer.
Yes.
And in those cases, those are the ones we want to support owners to, whether they green them, activate them, or improve their amenity in any way. So, we'll be approaching it from both the development angle, but
Yes.
if you're not ready, what can we do to make your site make a better contribution to the city experience?
Okay, thank you.
Bill's happy to move. Do I have someone to second? Yep. James? All those in favour?
Aye.
Yeah, I just wanted to endorse this approach. I think it is really good. But I think what we also need to realise is that for all the same reasons that this is an issue in the central city, particularly post-earthquake, this is also an issue outside of the central city. And so I did want to move an additional resolution that we do seek a report back to the committee on how we could extend both the barrier-free site program and the vacant site program to wider than just the central city. So it's not to make a decision today to do that, but actually there's a lot of thought that's gone into both of these programs for the central city. And I think what's become very obvious is that we are seeing a huge risk with the sites that are being left dilapidated. I've looked up the definition of vacant just so people, because I know that you're trying to say that vacant sites isn't parts of land that have existing things on them, but actually vacant means not occupied by an incumbent, and there's certainly things like a vacant office. We've also got a definition, according to Merriam-Webster, not lived in, and so we certainly do have sites that are vacant that are wider than just an empty section with no structure on it. And I think we really do need to look at how we can look at dealing with those issues. We've just seen at Hereford Street example, and we've also seen a number in the suburbs that need attention. So we did pass a resolution in 2018, and I think it would be good to get an update on that.
Mel?
I would support Yanni's suggestion, about proper vacant sites.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're in debate, but look, we've heard Yanni's comments, so I'm sure we can take them away. Any more debate? Not while you're speaking. You should know standing orders by now. All those in favour? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. The items are finished. The item's finished. And next time, send questions before 5 to 5, not before the meeting. Right, we're moving on to item number 11. Yanni, I don't want to tell you again.